Shout, I'm talking to you, so come on. Shout.
Good morning, everybody. 17 minutes after the hour. Welcome to the Sunrise Show. Craig Fronikin is your host, and glad to welcome onto the program Kathleen Kellenbeck. She's one of the owners of Brain Joy, the Neuro Wellness Center over on Jackson, 1007 East Jackson Street in Medford, and been there for just a couple of years, but doing great work when it comes to brain health. Kathleen, great to have you on.
Thanks. I'm glad to be here.
So, testimonials. I always go right out of what are people saying, what are people feeling, what are they seeing when they finish or go through Brain Joy's process, and how easy it is and non-invasive it is. And you always give the disclaimer, hey, we're not healing, but there are great
benefits.
Results and benefits. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So give your disclaimer for everyone that's out there.
All right. Well, for starters, we are actually in our 5th year.
Wow, that's amazing.
And what I am so excited to share with you is the reason why we keep going, and why, this is just the most rewarding work I've ever done. Truly, we don't treat, cure, heal, or diagnose. I am a certified neurooptimal brain trainer, and we're not a medical practice.
There you go.
We work with neurooptimal neurofeedback to help create greater resilience and flexibility in the brain and central nervous system. What that does is it correlates with improvement in resolution of any and all kinds of challenges. So, for example, people come in with worry and anxiety and obsessive thoughts, or they're wanting to lose weight, or
just sleep.
They can't sleep. Oh my gosh, sleep is huge. Focus, memory, all those, and pain management. It's amazing to me the degree of people that suffer with pain for decades and decades. And so just a couple weeks ago, a person completed a series of 15 sessions over a couple of months, and she couldn't tolerate narcotic pain medication. She had resorted to medical marijuana, but knew that it was impairing her cognitive abilities,
right,
and didn't want to go down that road. And she came to Brain Joy, and within 2 sessions, her pain was dramatically reduced, and she is now pain-free for the first time in 20 years.
That's craziness. Now, I want to kind of talk about, because all the stressors, all the trauma that, I guess you'd call them like blocks or blockers in the brain, right? Because you have this way of thinking, and you've blocked, I'm kind of getting into, those synapses where the brain finds a way around those blockers.
Well, life happens, and the brain supports us to do what we need to do. The brain's the control center for the entire body. So when life happens and it's stressful or challenging, the brain responds to support us to do our best in those circumstances as well. And when life is stressful on a daily basis, just the general accumulation of life's daily stressors, that impacts the brain as trauma. And so there's firing patterns in the brain that will become stuck, essentially.
Yeah.
The work that we do, just by sitting back in a recliner and listening to the music of your brain that is generated based on EEG sensors picking up the brain activity, so it's customized and different every time a person comes, that helps create new firing patterns, new neural nets, to get the brain out of those stuck firing patterns. It's not about applying the mind to discipline oneself to think about something differently.
Right.
We can exercise healthy habits and apply ourselves as diligently as we possibly can for sometimes several months, but inevitably we fall off the routine of whatever it is, because there are those old stuck firing patterns that are stronger than the new ones we're trying to make.
And that's the key, is having new training and new thought patterns that become stronger than the old detrimental thought patterns.
Exactly. So, for example, this past Friday, a client shared that after 10 sessions, she's having fewer obsessive thoughts and greater focus and less cravings. That's huge for somebody. Well, I'll just use myself as an example.
Yeah.
I love the smell of coffee. Caffeine does not love my body.
Oh, gosh.
And it took me 2 years to be willing to give up drinking my coffee. I've been off coffee now for 9-10 months.
Oh, my
and I don't miss it anymore, thankfully. But I thought about it every day for a really long time. And I hooked myself up to my machine, and it made it easier for me to be willing to give it up. You know, but
well, and this is one of those little niche things that you had an issue with, but I keep coming back to the just sleep, just getting. I mean, you know, the health professionals around the country are saying that we are dehydrated and sleep deprived.
Yeah.
And you think about road rage, you think about low tolerance, you think about folks stressing out, and you know, and that equates into bad behavior at work, or even bad parenting, or having, you know what I mean? We need every help we can get every tool we can get our hands on to help with dealing with the stressors, and not having enough sleep or staying hydrated. It's huge, and Brain Joy helps with that.
Absolutely, absolutely. So often we hear stories of people who say, "Oh, I can fall asleep really easily," but then I wake up 2 or 3 hours later, and I am up until the sun rises. And then when the sun comes up, I'm ready to go to sleep, but it's time to get up and go to work. You know, and that's, and they think, "Oh, I can survive on 5 hours," because they're so used to just getting 2 or 3. And so to be able to do a few sessions, and all of a sudden they may be opening their eyes but falling right back asleep again, is golden.
Wow, it's amazing. Kathleen, we have a quick break, and then we'll come back. We've got Kathleen Kellenbeck in with us with Brain Joy. They're over on 1007 East Jackson Street. Their website, that's the best way, or Facebook, Brain Joy, but brainjoy.com. And then the first office visit is free, right?
Try a session for free.
That's
Absolutely.
it. So let's talk about that when we come back, and how you can get your brain back on track with Brain Joy. We'll be right back on the Sunrise Show. The Bloomberg Market Update is next.
This is a Bloomberg Market Minute.
Good morning, everybody. 35 minutes after the hour. Welcome back to the Sunrise Show. Craig Fronikin, and we're continuing with Kathleen Kellenbeck from Brain Joy. Their website, brainjoy.com, and their phone number, 541-622-6220. They're over on East Jackson Street. And Kathleen, we were talking just before the break on all of the things, just from the standpoint of folks getting a better night's sleep and staying that laser focused. And you were mentioning during the break that, you know, athletes, executives, having that laser focus. And I was saying, you know, we all see the athletes coming off the bus right before the big game, and they're all wearing their headphones to keep clear.
Yeah, it gives them a competitive edge. Whether it's an executive in the sales force, they can increase their bottom line by 20 to 30%. Not because they're necessarily better salespeople, but because they don't take the nose as personally, and so they're more inclined to pick up that phone and make the next call, or one more call, and stay after it. Yeah, and with the athletes also, they're just like you said, with listening to their music and staying laser focused, they are able to excel at whatever they do.
I mean, you're talking peak performance, happiness, well-being, improved memory, mental focus. I mean, release, you know, and relief from stress and anxiety. And you think about the stress and anxiety, and you're saying you work with a lot with young people now. Well, this is very exciting, because you think about young people in, you know, teenagers and high schoolers and things like that, even younger. There's been so much, I don't want to say autism, but I mean, you know, all of that stuff, all these diagnoses, and you wonder if they just get out of the medicines out of the way and let the brain work.
Yeah, it's so true, and it's been so rewarding to see these students, and whether it's an 8-year-old or a 13-year-old or a 16-year-old, they have all different kinds of pressures, whether it's home or school, and difficulty performing to the level that they are being asked, and to be able to just have their brains defragged, so to speak.
Yeah.
You know.
Now, Kathleen,
Makes all the difference in the
exactly.
world.
We're talking with Kathleen Kellenbeck, one of the owners of BrainJoy. Get to their website, brainjoy.com, and their phone number, 541-622-6220. And their first session is free, and then single sessions are how much?
A single session is $65.
Okay.
Usually people go for a package of 10 or 20 sessions, and they decrease from there significantly.
Yeah, the incentives on that, yeah.
We've implemented a birthday month special, so
Very good.
People can get $25 off a session during their birthday month. So if it's a new person and
Wow.
their birthday's coming up, they're going to be able to get 2 sessions for $40.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness.
You know?
Kathleen, I wanted to ask, when the teenagers come in and it's their first time, what are their comments? What do they say? What do they see when they do this? Because this is new to them. They have no, they sit in the chair, they have the EEG sensors, and what do they say afterwards? They go, what?
They're surprising. It's amusing to us to watch their countenance change.
Right.
Their lips turn up, and all of a sudden they're smiling, and their eyes get big, and they say, "What's happening? I feel happy." You know, and it's almost like they're afraid to admit it, but it is just priceless.
Oh my gosh! And of course, the mom's going, "I told you so." The dad, "I told you so." Right? So, I mean, that's great, because that illustrates that it's a happy time, a peaceful time, an easy time. And it's not that issue of going into a doctor's office and being prodded and poked and changing, right? You just go and you relax in the chair. You even get a little fuzzy blankie, right? You just sit back and listen, and it's quiet time.
Yeah, they just can listen to the music of their brain. They can do their homework. I have some of the teenage boys like to read their driver's education manual, or some of the kids like to doodle or do crossword puzzles. Sometimes they'll do their homework, but usually they like to zone out.
Have any of them passed out and fallen asleep?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And then it's just so rewarding to see how a kid that was failing chemistry is going through the semester with a B average and has 4 A's in all of their other subjects when they were having C's before they came in, and their parents are commenting to me while the child is in session, teenager is in session, that they're not having to ride the student for doing their homework or doing their chores. The children are taking their own initiative to meet their commitments and responsibilities. And then I have one student, the one that was failing chemistry, that's now got a B average and A's and everything else, made the golf team and then was invited to participate in various and sundry different tournaments. So his golf game has gotten, and last year he didn't make the team.
You know, talking about golf, you know, how finely tuned that game is, I would think just this for golfers.
It's huge. It's huge.
Whoa.
All over the country.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This will be good. Well, Kathleen, we're out of time, but it's great to have you in and great to talk about this kind of stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, Kathleen Kellenbeck with BrainJoy, and the brainjoy.com is the great way to get to that. And then they're out 1007 East Jackson Street in Medford, and their phone number 541-622-6220. And the first session call, it's free.
Absolutely. It's always a pleasure being here.
Yeah, it's great to have you in. It's great to have you in. And what's your like signing off motive?
A happy brain is a happy life.
That's it. That's what I wanted. All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Kathleen, thanks for coming in this morning. Healthy brain. Whoa. Experience it. BrainJoy.com. Get to their website. Check it out. You will not be disappointed for sure. And congratulations on your 5th year as well.
Thank you so
bet.
much.
You bet. All right. Got to get to a break. More on the Sunrise Show after this. ABC Sports about 3 minutes out on the Sunrise Show.